Hey guys, TSA here back with a brand new video. In today's video, we will be finally continuing our how to make a dungeon game series. In today's video, we will at least start the dungeon generation, and then next video, if not this video, we'll probably add like the mob spawns in each room. Alright, so to get into it, let's go to our asset manager of our game and go to our actual dungeon, which the only dungeon we have right now is the Ice Dungeon Easy mode. So double click on that and it should open up in another studio tab like it is doing right now. Okay, so once this loads up, we're gonna need a few things. So obviously we're gonna need some rooms, and we're going to have the rooms in a folder inside of replicated storage called rooms. And I'm gonna bring these rooms all to the workspace and I'll show you a little bit about them. So you see these are all like 2-letter names. Doesn't really matter about that, just their names represent something and that's going to be how we actually spawn the rooms. CL stands for corner long, so it's the corner room, just a longer version of it. SB stands for straight room bridge, so it's, or actually I named these two backwards, I think. No, this is the SB room. Yeah, so this is the straight bridge room. This SL is straight long. And then SS is just straight small. Alright, and I'm going to go through one of the rooms just to show you the only important pieces, right? So each side, or the front side of each room has a door. The back side just has an opening, and then right in front of the door you see this part right here, right? This part right here is called the front connection, and you want to make sure that this front connection is the primary part of your model, your room model. So this is going to be like the point that we move the whole model to connect it to the previous room. And basically, yeah, that's the main thing. And then the second important thing is the part back here called back connection. It should just be like in the center of your doorway, lined up with the floor. And once again, just name it back connection. This time it's not the primary part, since the front connection is the primary part. And then the last thing, we want to make sure that all the parts inside of our room model is welded to the front connection, aka the primary part. So the way we could do this is, I have this little script right here. I'll go through it. For this to work, I have to put all my rooms back in the rooms folder in replicated storage. So the rooms folder is equal to game::get_service replicated storage.rooms. For every model in the rooms folder, we get its primary part, and then we get every part in the model. And if the model, like if it's not a base part, so like if it's like a weld or an attachment or like some kind of UI, if you have that in there, anything that's not a part, or the part has a weld constraint already in it, then we just want to continue to the next part in the model. And if it doesn't have either of those two things, then we will add a new weld constraint. The part 0 is going to be the part itself, and the part 1 is going to be the to part, which is just the primary part, or like I said before, the front connection part. And then we just got to parent it to the part as well. Alright, so once you have that setup done, well, that's it for the rooms really. And then I just added one more part over in here, inside of our spawn room. And this is called the back connection. So that, yeah. And this is going to be the point where where we line it up again. Alright, so first things first, if we go into our start frame, start button, local script, or actually not in here, we have the start game event. So we got to go here in our remotes handler, start game. This will be game.workspace colon find first child spawn room, and this will be spawn room. Then we'll say local wall is equal to spawn room dot wall. This is just because in the last episode I didn't have this room in a model. Now I do, so I have to do this. And we're gonna add more stuff in the script in just a second anyways. Alright, so now if we go ahead and play this, it should be the exact same thing as we had last time. Okay, we spawned up here for some reason. Okay, that's fine. Let's just start the game. And okay, yeah, the door disappeared. Alright, cool. Let's try to save this one last time. Save failure. If we publish failure. Okay. It's not looking too great, guys. Alright, anyways, we'll just continue with this. So, anyways, if we go into our server script service, I think we'll have server storage. We'll make a new folder, and we'll call this modules, even though we probably only have one module, but who knows. Modules. And you probably guessed it, we're going to have a module script in here. Okay, so in here we're going to name this the dungeon generator, and then we'll just say like generator, and we'll return generator. Okay, so here the first thing we want is we'll have a local like rooms, or local available rooms, and this is just going to be a list of all of the rooms that we could have. So we have like CLSB, SLSS. And actually, do we need to do this? I don't think we actually need to do this. If we just say like function generator dot generate dungeon, we can pass in a length, which will be an int, or we'll pass in a length, and then in here what we're going to do is we'll make what should we, so we'll have a, okay, so first things first, we need to go up here. We'll say local rs is equal to game get service replicated storage, local rooms is equal to rs.rooms. And then in here, I guess what we'll do is we'll say for I is equal to 0, or I equals, we'll say 0, to length. What we'll do is we'll select a random room, and we'll have this rooms table up here. We can do table.insert, and then we can just say rooms and math.random 1 comma rooms, or number comma rooms colon get children. Yeah, this should work to insert a random room to the table. So basically what we're doing is so first of all, when you get like one of these folders and you index it like a table, because it basically is the table, and this is just going to be the index of the element you want. So remember, the indexes start at 1, and we want it to go to the length of the length of the rooms table. So that's what this gets, and then math.random will give us a random number between that range. Therefore, we can get a random room and insert it into the rooms table, just like that. Okay, so now if we print out our rooms, this should like give us a random table with all of our things. So what we're going to do here we can say local ss game colon get server storage variables. Local modules is equal to ss.modules, and then local generator is equal to require modules.dungeon generator. So then here, if we go down here, after we destroy the wall, I guess we can say generator.generate dungeon, and we'll say like the length of it is going to be either 4 or 5 rooms plus a boss room. Okay, so if we go ahead and test this, okay, whatever. Alright, so we're in the room, we click start. Starts. Okay, we have an error. 4 is not a valid member of folder replicated storage.rooms. Okay, so if we apply get children here, okay, now it works, and so our dungeon will have a long corner, then a straight bridge followed by another straight bridge followed by 3 straight longs. Alright, so we actually want to start this at 1 so that our length actually works properly. Yeah. Alright, so then we'll have either 4 or 5 rooms every time, and it should give us a random number of rooms, or a random room. Okay, so anyways, now that we have our rooms like this listed out, what we can do is alright, so we can actually generate the rooms now. So we want to say, so I guess in that case we don't need this rooms folder or this rooms table. We can just say local room is equal to this room. If we remove that, we can remove this and remove this. We can just print the room, I guess. And basically what we're going to want to do here is local clone is equal to room colon clone, clone colon move to, or I believe it was actually pivot to, and we want to move it to the previous rooms. Okay, so we want to move it to the previous room's back connection. So the way we're going to do this, you'll see in just a second. So if I is equal to 1, right, then this means this is the first room that we're making. So we want to have a local back connection variable up here. So if I is equal to 1, our back connection is going to be equal to workspace.spawnroom.backconnection. Else we want to say, I guess in here in the workspace we should have a folder called the dungeon levels, and we'll say back connection is going to be equal to workspace.dungeon levels, and we're going to try to find first child of room concatenated with I-1. So if this is 2, then we'll try to look for room 1. So we want to pivot to back connection dot .cframe, I believe we have to do, and then an important thing, we have to set the clone dot name equal to room and concatenate it with the current iteration of I, and then the parent will be equal to workspace.dungeon levels. Alright, we'll test this out and, well, we'll see how it goes. Starting game 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and our dungeon generated. As you see, the doors are just, well, blocking us from moving. We do have an error. C-frame is not a valid member of model workspace.dungeonlevels.room. Okay, so yeah, we have to do this, and if back connection, or here we can say local parent, I guess, is equal to that. And if parent, then back connection will be equal to parent dot back connection. So if we find this room, then that's good, and we will set the back connection to its back connection part. So now hopefully everything will be lined up properly and all the rooms will spawn. Okay, now we're on top, so this actually could be better, so we can actually see. Zoom out, the door just broke and all our dungeons are loaded in. See, this one is a little odd. I believe that's the corner long one. Let's see what's going on here. Go into our current server. So this is the start room. Players would walk through here. We gotta fix that. Anyways, players would walk through. Okay, and then here is where things get a little messed up, because this door for this room 4, the front connection part should have been right here. Yeah, it should have been right here, but for some reason it was not. Alright guys, well that is it for today's video. We will continue our dungeon generation in the next videos, where we will fix the lining up of the corner dungeons, as well as adding in the mob spawns to the dungeons, or at least making the mobs. Anyways guys, happy New Year's. Hope you guys enjoy your New Year's, and I'll see you in the next video guys. Bye.